One day a man fell in a pit, really deep pit. When he hit the bottom, he sunk into some deep mud, like up to his neck. And although he was a strong man, he just couldn't climb out of there. And it seemed the more he struggled to climb out, the deeper in the mud he sunk. So he kept shouting, "Help, help, somebody help me." And then an optimistic Christian walked by and said, "Hey, brother, you'll get out of that pit." And he walked off. Then a pessimistic Christian walked by and said, "You ain't getting out of that pit, bro." And then he walked by. Then an analytical Christian walked by and said, "Yep, that's a pit." And then he walked by. Then a Calvinist Christian walked by and said, "Brother, you were predestined for that pit." And then he walked by. Then a legalist Christian looked down and seen him and said, "I warned you about that pit." And then he left. Then a Pentecostal Christian came by and said, "I rebuked that pit in the name of Jesus." And then he left. Then a Word of Faith brother walked by and said, "You're not in a pit." And then he walked by. Then a Catholic Christian walked by and said, "Hey, brother, I'll pray the rosary for you." And then he walked by. And the guy stood there shaking his head. He's like, "What the heck?" And he realized there's no getting out of this pit. And he just started weeping. And then Jesus walked by. He looked at the man and loved the man. And he climbed down into the pit with the man. And then he went under the mud, put the man on his shoulders, and carried the man out of the pit. Never forget, God demonstrated his love for us. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 5:8.